Good morning. This is James with 77 Financial Group. You're listening to 15 Minutes of Finance, where in the next 15 minutes, I bet I can get you excited about investing. Let's do it. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy 2025. We are back in business, baby. We haven't posted in like a month because we are in a massive transitionary phase for our firm, for the podcast, for everything. We are going to video. We're going to YouTube and Rumble and we're going to be on TikTok, and I don't even know where we're all going to be, but we got a new office. We got a new studio. We have upgraded and moved on up. We are trying to create some crazy good content, information, educational pieces, really everything we can do for you guys. So please, as you see these changes, share. Get us up. Get us out there. We actually just won an award from FeedSpot, which is a podcast ranking company that's been around since 2013. And we were ranked fourth. We were ranked the fourth best financial podcast to listen to. In 2025, sorry, it was a rather lengthy description. Fourth best podcast. Hold on. This is the list. The list was top 40 financial podcasts to listen to in 2025, and we were number 4. Okay, that was way more clear and easy to understand, wasn't it? Anyways, as we're in this transition, guys, move us on up. We want to grow. I'm trying to be the next Mad Money, Jim Cramer, but with zero bad takes, because boy, does he have some bad takes. But I am trying to be the next Jim Cramer, or as I would like to say, him Cramer. Yeah, all right, that was pretty cheesy. All right, I take it back. But guys, we have a lot to talk about today. I know it's not Friday. Always release episodes on Friday, but our favorite stock, NVIDIA, went down yesterday. Dumped 20%. I want to talk to you guys why. I had a lot of conversations with clients yesterday, and I think it's a great time to just explain how these things work. And in this particular case, because this is the AI space, this is chip making, this is the trailblazer NVIDIA is of this space. It would be like Yahoo or AOL in like 1998. Like they're at the forefront. Like you would assume they're gonna kill it forever, right? Well, obviously, eventually those things ran into competition, or those companies ran into competition, and then one would sell off $3 billion of their company, and then the other would crumble off, and they just disappear. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for it. But what happened yesterday is very, very interesting, and we're going to go over that. But first, I just want to go over these news titles for today, I guess. Essentially, the market news that we normally do, but it's just a little bit more stock focused. So if you're not here for the stocks, stay anyways, okay? Stay anyways, because you're going to learn something. All right, let's read this news real quick. And this is just a Investopedia article from early this morning, okay? U.S. stock futures are a little changed after the tech sector saw its biggest decline in more than 4 years. NVIDIA, Broadcom, and other chipmaker stocks are moving higher in pre-market trading after plunging yesterday on investor worries over China's DeepSeek artificial intelligence model. General Motors posts better than expected revenue and adjusted profit. Boeing concludes a difficult year by reporting fourth quarter results in line with its recently released preliminary figures. And Smithfield Foods is expected to begin trading on the NASDAQ today after pricing its initial public offering below the previous range. Here's what investors need to know today. Okay, so the first one is that U.S. stock futures are a little changed in the tech sell-off. Okay, that's the number one thing we need to know. I'll read this description and then it has a little bit of what we're talking about today. Both of the number one and number two is, but U.S. stock futures are a little changed after Monday's sell-off, which saw the steepest drop in tech stocks since 2020. NASDAQ futures are 0.2% higher, following a 3.1% decline yesterday, while S&P 500 futures are up similar percentage after falling 1.5%. Let's see. And Bitcoin is 0.4% higher to trade at over 102,000. Gold and oil futures are higher, with yields on the 10-year Treasury also ticking up. Okay, cool. Let's see. General Motors posts better than expected revenue earnings. Boeing report in line with preliminary results as plane maker closes difficult year. Yeah, Boeing's just been tough. No, that's the news. We're going to talk about NVIDIA today. This is what matters. Let me just look at what the S&P is at, though, real quick for you guys, because this is important. S&P's up 0.37. It's 6,034.65, which is great. And then let me look right at what NVIDIA is today. NVIDIA. Yeah, and it's up 4.2% today already. So, yeah, this is, excuse me. I bought yesterday, guys. I bought NVIDIA. And again, the reason we're talking about NVIDIA, one, it's been a stock we've talked about all year last year, and even into November of 2023. It has absolutely killed it. And because it's killed it, other companies have killed it. SoundHound, Palantir, Microsoft. What are some other ones? Hurry. All the quantum computing companies. All of that stuff happens because NVIDIA broke the ceiling, the glass ceiling. Okay, they're the Gandalf, right? Frodo can't get to the mountain without Gandalf, right? Frodo doesn't even know about the mountain without Gandalf. All right, so this is the story, right? I've been talking about this blip that happened yesterday. A Chinese company, supposedly, called DeepSeek, created a ChatGPT-like model, large language model is what they're called, LLMs, or maybe it's open language model. I can't remember, but essentially it's a language model. It's a ChatGPT, and they claimed to do it for about $5.5 million. And they also claimed to do it using NVIDIA's R800 chip, or I can't remember exactly what the chip was called, but essentially some of NVIDIA's chips. And there's a bunch of really important factors and all of that if you're on the in, not that I'm super on the in, but I am an analyst. I do analyze these things. When you're reading up and you have a little bit of an understanding of the business that NVIDIA is in, and the rules and the regulations, the things that DeepSeek claim, you go, They're things that make you go, Okay. The first one is $5.6 million. I think OpenAI that created ChatGPT, I think it cost them at least 100. Okay. So now we're talking fraction. We're talking 5%. We're talking 5% of the overall cost to create a in-kind like model of ChatGPT. That in and of itself, that's crazy. And ultimately that information is what dropped NVIDIA. That's ultimately what it did, because NVIDIA is expensive. They are, like I said, they're the trailblazer. So they're like Jordans, like the shoes. Well, Jordans are super expensive, one, because they created a brand value with Michael Jordan in the 80s and 90s. And now it's $1 billion company, and he doesn't even play basketball anymore. But he was the first one to really do it. And that's kind of where NVIDIA is at. So that's why they can charge $200, $300 for a shoe, Jordan. And then NVIDIA can charge $25,000 for a chip the size of your pinky nail. But all that smells fishy. So I have 5 reasons here, just me, in my own research that I've done in the last 24 hours, why I think this is absolute hoopla, and buying the dip with NVIDIA right now makes a ton of sense. And I already did it yesterday. I did it. This is a little, probably risky of me, but this is you, to get a reward, you have to have risk. That is in anything in life. Anything worth having is worth risking for, worth waiting for, worth working for. And it's no different. The difference between gambling in the stock market, which you absolutely can gamble in the stock market, but the difference is time, research, and understanding. Okay. And the real biggest one is the time. You need to spend time understanding something. And I've spent time understanding NVIDIA. Okay. And I understand this space as much as someone who isn't in the tech world can understand it. I really do think, like Palantir and NVIDIA, I have a grasp of their operations. Obviously, I don't know the tech lingo, and I don't know how to build a chip or anything, but the way they're doing business and how they're improving other companies or governmental contracts, how they're making those way more efficient, that is where I'm like, ooh, there's financial value in that. right? And that's the separation between gambling. So what people did yesterday, and the reason I'm bringing up gambling, they gambled. They sold. They heard some news about this Chinese company for $5 million that was able to do the exact same thing that ChatGPT is. And let me tell you, it can't. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Okay, so the first one is manipulating the truth. Many reiterations of the open language platform model. So they claimed, hey guys, just so you know, we made the exact same thing, but we did it for 5 million and you did it for 100. You guys are idiots. That's not true. They actually, I hate to say this, but these Chinese companies do this all the time. They lie and manipulate. It's kind of a lie, but it's kind of manipulating. It's definitely a lie. Or is it the other way around? It's kind of a lie. It's definitely manipulating. That one. Sorry. My bad, guys. I haven't even had caffeine yet. I'm just hyped up about NVIDIA's cheap right now, and I love everything about that. They have had many reiterations, meaning this is like the 12th model or the 25th model. It could be the 150th model for all we know, but it's not the first. Okay? So if this one cost 5 million, what did the other one cost? Or the one before that, or the one before that, or the one before that? Okay? So it's possible, yeah, they maybe did do it for cheaper. They probably did, in my honest opinion. But it ain't no 5%. Okay, it ain't no 5 million. My guess is probably closer to 50 or 70. And I bet you they have dozens of reiterations of different models, right? So it's like, oh, this is the Tesla bot 001. Oh, this is the Tesla bot 002. And it's like the iPhones, right? Like you just get a new iPhone every single year. So that's the first one. They're manipulating the truth and kind of lying. Second is, if you use this thing, it doesn't tell you the truth. So mainly, this was the big issue with China coming out with an open AI model, is that they're not an open country. Everything about them is closed off and reserved, and everybody's the enemy. If you ask them about Taiwan, which is absolutely its own country, China will just say, yeah, it's an island that belongs to China. They won't say, yes, Taiwan is its own country with its own flag, with its own government, with its own currency, with its own ordinance and its own infrastructure. They won't do that because China thinks Taiwan is theirs. So that's the first thing. It lies about that stuff. It also will lie about history, like the Taiping Revolution. Well, that was an absolute real thing that happened. It doesn't even resonate that information. Ooh. Sorry, guys. An ambulance just went by like really fast. That was crazy. Where was I? Oh, man, dude, this happens way too often. I get into it, and then I get out of it. Oh, yeah, the Taiping Revolution. They just don't. It's like, oh, yeah, we don't talk about that. So it doesn't exist in their open AI model space. So that's one. In the language models, it's very easy to, like, censor stuff, right? So it's very easy to like put on parental control with a lot of keywords, phrases, anything you can think of. So that's number 2. 3 is yesterday. Oh, they said we had a massive cyber attack, and so now we have to just limit people who come on board. What that probably is saying. So sorry, I made the joke before I made the statement. They said they had a cyber attack, and a massive one. They said it was malicious. And that's also what the Chinese do, is they, you'll poke them, you'll poke them, and they'll say you punched them, and it'll be like, what are you talking about, dude? And then they just live their whole life with this resentment. And this is all business, by the way, not the Chinese people, just the business practices of the Chinese. And I actually do have experience with the Chinese because I had an internship with them. And I also just want to say this again to clarify. There are Chinese companies that I absolutely love, NIO being one of them. So it's not everybody. It's just something that I've seen. And in this case, I really see it with DeepSeek. So they supposedly had a massive cyber attack. Truth is, they probably don't have the capacity or really the preparedness to have this many people on the model, which is fine. I mean, that's a good problem you want, but I think what's going to happen is people are going to realize, oh, this actually sucks. It's actually not that good. What it feels like when people use it is, from what I've seen and what I've read, because I'm not using it. I'm not sure if it's stealing info. I don't know what it's doing. But they say it feels like it's like a stolen ChatGPT. Like, you know how like people will resell stuff? Like they might steal, like someone might steal their neighbor's TV and then sell it to another neighbor. And the neighbor would be like, I think I've seen this before. Like, is this in Tim's house down the street? And you're like, no, dude. I just got that. I just got that and refurbished it up. And it's like, oh, this feels kind of weird. Like, that's the feeling that people are saying when they're using it. So that's the first thing. Or sorry, that's the third thing. And this is the craziest one that I think. NVIDIA doesn't. So they DeepSeek claimed that they used NVIDIA chips, right? And they probably did because NVIDIA's got the best chips. Funny thing is, there's rules on the AI tech space internationally. The U.S. companies cannot sell chips to foreign countries like China. Okay, they absolutely cannot do that. Like, NVIDIA has no business with China at all. And they're saying they have these chips. Well, if you didn't buy them, two things. Either someone else gave them to you, which is also illegal, or you stole them, which is also illegal. So they're running on faulty, I guess you would say, I want to use the word stolen, but we can't guarantee it. They're using chips that they did not get honorably, I guess is how I would say it. So they're running on stolen, faulty chips that aren't theirs, on someone else's chips, which is, I don't know how people don't just take 5 minutes, read about that, and go, yeah, that company's not going to last long. They're stealing people's chips. There's no company in China that can make NVIDIA like chips. None. So they're just gonna have to either keep stealing chips, or they're gonna have to keep buying them on the black market, or borrowing them, or however it is they're doing it. All right, and then the last one, guys. I promise you, I'm almost done. This is my favorite one. I read today. NVIDIA's made a statement about, hey guys, this sucks, but also like this just proves that our chips are great, and we need more of our chips. I want to read you this article. Let's see. Here you go. It's from Routers. I should probably know how to say that. I read from them all the time. NVIDIA says DeepSeek advances prove need for more of its chips. So here we go. Let me read this. It's very quick, guys. Where is it? Oh, it's a quick statement. Okay, yeah. NVIDIA issued a statement on Monday after its shares tumbled 17% to 118.58. It was like 150, 155, somewhere around there. To 118.58 on investor concerns that DeepSeek had matched rivals such as OpenAI using far fewer NVIDIA chips than U.S. firms. NVIDIA rival Advanced Micro Devices shares also slid more than 6%. Also, AMD, I like them. I also think they're, a stock to watch. I don't know where the window is to buy. Like, I still think there's probably a 10% drop on AMD. I'm watching them. I want to buy them. They compete with NVIDIA, but they're going after a different market. Meaning, like, NVIDIA might be like, I'm only going to go after colleges. And NVIDIA or AMD might be like, okay, well, then I'm only going to go after high schools. And obviously, there's, a different market for those. But high schools, in this sense, would be like a lower level deals, whereas the colleges would be like the massive government contracts, the big companies, etc. All right, sorry guys, I am all over the place. But so NVIDIA rival Advanced Micro Devices shares also slid more than 6% to 115.01. Okay, here is the statement from NVIDIA. DeepSeek's work illustrates how new models can be created using that technique, leveraging widely available models and compute that is fully export control compliant, NVIDIA said in its statement. One of DeepSeek's research papers showed that it had used about 2,000 of NVIDIA's H800, that's what it was, chips, which were designed to comply with U.S. export controls released in 2022. Rules that experts told Reuters would barely slow China's AI progress. The U.S. microchip export controls were designed to freeze China's development of supercomputers used to develop nuclear weapons and artificial intelligence systems. Okay, so their statement might not have made any sense. Essentially, what they were saying is like, hey guys, what they're doing with our chips just shows anybody can do. Like, our chips are so good, anybody can do it. Like, come on and get some. So and then it also says that these H800 chips were, they're bootleg. They're 2022 chips. NVIDIA comes out with a chip pretty much, I think it's either 12 or 18 months, somewhere around there. Guys, I love that. I love everything about this. NVIDIA is cheaper. It's at a discount right now. I believe that. I put my money where my mouth was yesterday. And it's just going to keep getting better. NVIDIA, and it's like the same thing with like green energy. Like, who are the biggest green energy companies? Well, they're the oil companies. They're the fossil companies. Because in their head, they're like, well, we don't want to lose the energy game. Right? So NVIDIA's in the same boat. Like, we're at the forefront. If something happens, they have the resources and the knowledge and the manpower to just like start whatever the new thing is, right? So if DeepSeek really would have done something with this, NVIDIA could have been like, ooh, well, maybe now we need to consider our packages to other U.S. companies and become more efficient. And it honestly would have been better. That's capitalism, right? Obviously, this is a communist country, so it's not really capitalism, but it functionally works that way for us, right? Like, who cares what they do? We want to improve ourselves. People think that's a decent company. We're going to become a great company. So, all right, guys, I am 6 minutes over the 15 minutes. What am I doing? What's new? Guys, we're growing, and we love to have you on board. Please share. I hate to be that guy to do that. We've honestly had one thing I will say that we're doing for you guys. We've had many, probably close to a dozen ad possibility. What is the right? Companies come to us that want to add on our podcast, and we're just like, no, we're not there yet. We don't really want to do that. We want to focus on the content. We want to grow. I want to be Jim Cramer, but younger, hopefully better looking, and hopefully smarter than Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer is one of those guys. He got right once with a lot of money. And he's been wrong with everybody else's, right? So he's worth like $50 million or something. He used to have a hedge fund. Actually, he's probably worth way more, but he's on CNBC every day doing exactly what I'm doing right now. And he gets paid $5 million for it. And he's wrong a lot. Anyways, we're happy to be here, guys. We're excited. We're moving to YouTube. We're still going to do audio, Spotify, etc. But we're happy to have you, and thanks guys for being here from the very beginning. Things are picking up and we're moving. So, we hope you guys are learning, and this is what we love to do. As always, invest early, invest often. We'll see you guys next time.